3, 2, 1.
What is going on, Southwest ISD? What is going on? My name is Brandon Medina. We have Peter Wagner, your athletic director, in the building. As always, it is a new week, and that means a new scoreboard. And we are here to bring all of the SWISD athletics storylines, all the great things happening around this district to you, to your ears, via podcast, via Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, anywhere you can hear a podcast. We're here with you, Mr. Peter Wagner. How are we doing today?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. We have some special guests coming in. The McNair Boys Basketball team. Champions
of the Big 21.
I'll tell you what, it seems like every time we talk about champions in middle school, it's a McNair Scobie race in basketball all the time.
Lately. Yeah.
And volleyball, too. We hear a lot of volleyball as well. So big shout out to McNair. We'll have all those great young men coming in and talking about that experience. And so we'll get to that. However, we have a little bit of tidying up to do, some home things to do, knock out right here at Southwest ISD. We have basketball, baseball, softball, and track that you want to get into as well. Some unified, which has been taken off across the district as well. Yeah,
we've had some really good weeks. More playoffs, getting ready for playoffs in the spring. So it's that time of year, coming to championship season with the spring sports. But I want to start off a little bit with something that happened yesterday. I want to give a big shout out to our student athlete leadership team that we came together yesterday and went to Texas A&M San Antonio and worked on some leadership stuff, but mainly putting together. We're trying to empower our kids more to take leadership roles, and so we did a lot of activities around them choosing to figure out how they want to run our Warrior program. And so they took a lot of time to discuss what values they want to really put points to and how we do it and how we'll play that Warrior game, how you become a Warrior, what a Warrior is. They defined all those things, and they took a lot of time and a lot of thought working together with both high schools, leaders in all sports from both high schools, all ages, to do that. And I just want to commend all of those kids, those coaches that were there for doing that. And we'll see a lot of that coming here in the near future with planning some leadership seminars and doing some other things in school next year. And
That's
really giving it more to the kids, empowering the kids to lead and build the culture that they want to grow up in school. So big kudos to them and things like that. So that was really exciting yesterday. We'll start with Unified. Last Friday, our Unified teams went down to Kingsville in track and had a great first year showing. The Titans came in 6th in the region, and then the Dragons came in 5th as a team, 1 point away from going to state.
Man.
So it was bittersweet a little bit because they did a great job, but I think we learned so much this year and all of the unified stuff that we did that I think you're going to see it really grow next year. It was a little topic of conversation yesterday with our student athlete leadership team, how we grow that to understand what unified is and things like that, that it is not Special Olympics.
Right.
It's competing.
And it's what it is. It's a unified
sport.
competition.
Yes. Yeah. It's like you're not going, oh yeah, we're no. We're going to win, and these kids and those kids that are in those special needs programs, they're competing too. Like that's their thing. You know what I mean? But but what unified is, it's all of our thing.
Right.
And so being more inclusive, but also like competing like we're talking about with baseball and softball going to the playoffs and area track and things like that. It's not different. Like there's no difference. We just have to change our paradigm with how we look at it.
It also introduces students to a new outlook as far as looking at athletics, and also introduces them into new athletic programs, right? Because you can't run track and run unified track.
Correct.
So you'd have to be.
You got to choose.
You got to choose a little bit, and also
it's a different sport.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they did a great job. So kudos to them. Kudos to our coaches who did that. Miss Coach Wells, who's the head coach of that group, and then as we continue to learn how we're going to do those things to increase participation and competitiveness. So second thing is going into let's talk about what big thing going on this week is regional track.
Sure.
And so the Dragons are going in with they got their girls 4x1, girls 4x4 400-meter relay. They got some discus. They got Danielle's Viafane is going in the discus. I might miss a few people because I was not proactive. But lots of good stuff going on with those guys on the boys' side. The 4x1, the 4x2 are going to the regional track meet. In the relays, and you got an 800 runner in Roman. You got Noah Manzano throwing in the discus. I'm sure I'm going to miss a couple people, but those are the ones who just on the top of my head did a great job. You know what I mean? And we got others that are doing that. And then at Legacy, I think if you look at it, Southwest has if you're being honest, Southwest has the quantity. There's a lot of kids going. If you look at their times, they're going to have to really improve their times to have a shot at getting out to state and things like that. Right. Whereas if you look at Legacy, there's not quite as much quantity, but the quality of when who's going in and what's going on is a little bit different story. So you got Garnell Zor who's going in the long jump, and then you got Alicia Galvez who's going in 3 events. She's going in the high jump tomorrow morning at 9, and then she's got the 800 and the mile. With the 800, she's in the running for a probably top 5 spot, top 3 spot somewhere in there, but she's gonna have to drop her time a little bit. You got to get she runs probably. She ran a 2:18 last time. She needs to run about a 2:13, 2:12 in the 800 to get out. And then she runs a pretty good mile too. And you got from Southwest, you got Myra Medina, who is also her big competition when it comes to those two. Been running against each other all year.
Shout out to my cousin Myra.
Yeah. Oh, is she your cousin?
No, we just had to share
the same last name. All right. I was like, what?
Like, how we never talked about this?
How did that happen? And somebody, as we talk and I think about this, you got Chanel Richardson, who's also running the 100 hurdles and everything, and she's doing pretty well. So congrats to her. And but the big one obviously is Anthony Zapata. This is his time. This is where. So I was talking to Coach Arguello yesterday a little bit in the afternoon. And he said that they're really shooting for about a 150 right now. Anthony's got the best time in the 800 by about 2 seconds, but they're shooting for he's around a 152. I think it was at the Texas Relays, but he's shooting for a 150, 151, 152. If he can run a 151, 152, he'll be in the top 1 to 2 to 3 at the state track meet, and he should win the region. Man. And then in the mile, he's got the best time. I think my understanding was he's got the best time right now by about 3 or 4 seconds in the mile in the region. So when we were talking more about the state track meet with Anthony and what that looks like. And at the beginning of the year, Coach Arguello was like, well, we thought the 800 was going to be his shot to not only medal but maybe win it. Mm-hmm. But right now it looks like he was sitting with the top time in the state in all classifications for a few weeks with his 414. He's trying to get down to about a 410. He's getting to within 3 seconds of breaking the 4-minute mile. That's what we're talking about here.
Wow.
That means you're running around the track 4 times in about a minute and a second in a row and stuff like that.
And told me when you talked to Anthony, when the normal track season was coming to an end, you were like, "Hey, so track's just started, huh?" Like, yeah. You told me that you were like, "This is when you
this is
up that pace."
Yeah, his training's a little different. You know what I mean? You train for championships. Like most of them are going to train championship season about district, maybe area.
Sure,
depending who they are. Anthony's training is leading him. His cycles, the things that they're doing with their pacing and stuff like that are more in tune to him running his best race at the state track meet, and nice. Which is in 2 weeks. And so he's about a month later than everybody else just because of his talent. And so we're excited about that for him. Looking forward to the region meet this week. So they run on Saturday, but the field events, those who are competing in the field events, throw tomorrow morning. Throw and jump tomorrow morning. So excited about track, and then that leads us into from track we go to softball. Softball's ending their season this week. We end on Friday night at Southwest Stadium for the Fire and Armor softball game.
Nice.
Senior night at the Dragon Stadium.
Come check that out Friday.
Come check it out on Friday. The Dragons right now, if they win, will be co-district champions. They're currently 10-3. I think I think most people would agree they're the favorite in this game coming in, just based on record. And so if they win, district champs, but they'll end up being the 2 seed most likely based on different tie-breaking scenarios. Unless McCollum loses, then they would be outright district champs. So they're more than likely will be the 2 seed. More than likely, we're looking at playing something like MacArthur or Burbank, something like that in the SAISD. So that the playoff games will start on Thursday next week. Okay. So we got Battle of the Flowers and all that kind of stuff going on.
So if McCollum loses,
then we would
jump them.
Technically, we would still be co-district champions. If South San and McCollum lose, we'd be outright district champions.
Okay.
Not likely to happen either. If one of them lose, you're co. If both of them win, if all 3 of them win, South San, Southwest, and McCollum, then they're technically tri-district champions. But you know what I'm saying. But nevertheless, that would be the 5th district championship, I think, this year at Southwest. You got volleyball, 2 soccers, boys basketball, and softball. So Southwest would have won a district championship in 5 of the 8.
I was just trying to think right now in my head, like that seems like a lot.
In 5 of the 8 team sports, Southwest would have won a district championship.
Is there
or the main 8 that everybody plays?
Is there a record that we've never hit?
I'd have to look that up, but that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's that's over 50%.
If my calculations are correct.
If my calculations are correct, 5 out of 8 is more than that.
Wow.
So that'll be the 5th district championship at Southwest High School this year. So it's pretty phenomenal job by athletes, coaches, community, everybody. And that's as long as they beat Legacy, that would be it.
That's awesome.
And so then in baseball on Friday night took a tough one took a loss to South San on Friday, but backed into the playoffs anyway due to another loss by somebody else. So the Dragons baseball team is currently 2nd place, and if they win on Friday, they will lock in 2nd place. And so they are locked into the playoffs now. No play-in games, none of that business. They're also in the playoffs. So kudos to Coach Myler, his staff.
Sure.
And they got Harlandale on Friday, and then next Friday they got the Titans.
Yeah.
And stuff, and then we go from there.
That's awesome. That sounds good.
That's how we're rolling.
Well, I think we're
man. You talk about good timing.
Good timing.
I mean, fantastic timing.
Yeah, we're excited to welcome in our McNair Boys Basketball team. We'll take a quick break and bring them in right about now. Who do we have here from our McNair Basketball team? Can you please introduce yourself and then also what position you play?
I'm Isaiah Logan, and I play point guard.
Okay.
My name is Nehemiah, and I play shooting guard.
Okay, sounds good. Man, so talk to me, guys. You know, this is championship season for you guys. You guys are champions. What did that feel like to be able to bring a championship back to McNair Middle School?
We all worked for this, and we all had that chip on our shoulder from last year. Some of us came out of injury. Some of us were, like, not really focused. But this year we had that chip on our shoulder for all of us to, like, push each other to get better. And, yeah,
okay,
tried for that.
Awesome. What about you, my man? What does that championship feel like for you as a student athlete, and then bringing that back to McNair?
It feels good, you know, like, especially since last year. We wanted to win, but I think this year we wanted as bad, and we wanted our redemption. because everyone had like looked down on us and stuff in a way.
Right. And this it was against Scobie, and you look at this.
Bit of a rivalry.
Yeah, you two schools have a rivalry almost in every sport. It feels like every time we look at volleyball, basketball, opportunities like this come and go every year, and it seems like you two are at the end of that season all the time. What does it feel like? Do you guys know some of those players? Are you guys cool? Like, I'm sure y'all get to know each other. How does that competition look compared to playing another school that maybe you don't know? Is it one of those things where you kind of know their tendencies a little bit, you know what they kind of do, or how does that look?
So like with Scobie, like we really we know them, so like we already know how like bad they want to beat us, or like I don't know, how would you put it?
Like, so yeah, we're all close and stuff. Like we all know each other. Hold on. Yeah, we all know each other like that. Like we hang out of school and all that.
Yeah.
And so like we all talked about it before. Like even in the beginning of the season, we still talked about it. So it was just mainly like we kept up with each other's records and how we beat each other and how much we beat other teams by. So yeah, it's
Just like good competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I love it.
we were looking forward to it the whole time.
That's awesome. What do you got, Coach?
So last year, talk about last year. Last year, you said this is like kind of a redemption. So y'all been competing both scope. You guys this has kind of been a thing for 2 years since you've been in middle school. Am I right? Talk a little bit about that.
So last year, people didn't really take, or like some people didn't really take basketball seriously, and we had like some players that were like just fill-ins in a way. But last year it was like upsetting, you know. So I got injured, right? But like that doesn't really mean nothing. But when I got injured, it was kind of bad. But
And you have to watch kind of that growth from the side instead of being a part of it.
yeah, and it just sucked, like seeing like my team like lose, because I wish I was playing. Like I love the sport, you know what I mean? And this year, like everybody had that chip on the shoulder to get better. Everybody on the team got better from last year. And like just hearing like everybody talking like down on us, like we really just had that motive to like get better. And I like really like just push my team to get better. And like we got football players too that like mainly play football. And like my homeboy Carlos, right? He's not here right now, but my homeboy Carlos, he's just straight football. But like I always push him to like go to the park with me and get some work in, and yeah.
That's awesome.
Always tried for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so looking at this, talk to me about this coaching staff, man. This coaching staff is an important part of this championship season. Talk to me about those coaches and what they mean to you all as young student athletes and as young men becoming leaders for high school.
Yeah, our coaches are like, we have really good coaches. They push us to our limits. Like even like some people try to slack off in a way, like, but our coaches still push us hard enough to make us work for what because Coach Pardo saw it in us the whole time. We just need to see it in ourselves first.
Yeah, think about that, Coach Pardo. Yeah, he also had that chip on his shoulder too. Like he really wanted to win it this year, and like we had some games where like we knew that we could win, but like we would like play bad, so we kind of looked like a close game. So like he always pushed us like never slack off, consistency and all that. And shout out to like Coach McCallie, Mr. Cheney for all of them for pushing us, Coach Valdez, all of them.
Yeah. And so my final question for you guys before we switch out teammates. McNair Middle School is known for being a massive supporter of their athletics. Talk to me about kind of the teachers and students that came out to support you all and how that dynamic is going to school out of school where, you know, the teachers and staff and students constantly want to support you all and see you all win as well.
Yeah, like even the teachers, they would ask us questions about the games and stuff, and they would like to show up to the games and show their support. Like even like one teacher, her name is Ms. Fawad, she used to like she records the games and stuff too. And I know a lot of teachers like to show out, and they like to push us too to like help us, like because like sometimes, even if like our grade, they even try to pick up your grade too. Like if you're failing, like if you're slightly failing their class, they want to try to push up your grade and try to give you like that extra credit because they know you're a student athlete, so they want more from you and they expect more. So
love that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, going back what he said, yeah, like they really push us to try to get better. Like shout out to Avery and Bella for them like recording my games, pictures, and all that. I really appreciate that, and teachers too, just supporting out there. Like I see y'all understand. Appreciate y'all.
Love
so
it.
one question for you guys. So the championship game was with Scobie, as we've covered. How exciting is it though to next year you'll be freshmen, you'll all be Dragons. How exciting is it to come together and start working towards? We were just talking before you guys got here about the Dragons are going to win on 5 district championships this year out of 8 of the major ones. The Dragons were undefeated district champions in basketball this year. How excited how excited are you that now you've had this rivalry game, but now you get to come together as Dragons to compete and start building as you go through high school?
Yeah, it's really exciting, especially since we're, like I said before, we all know each other, so it's really exciting to get with them because we've been looking forward to it too. So being with them, we know that they have strong players too, and really good individual players. And if we all just play together as a team, I think we can make it work and possibly win the whole thing.
Personally, I'm very excited too, because I know that we all have that same motive to get better and win. I know none of us love losing. Nobody likes losing, but yeah, we all have that motive, try to get better, push each other, and yeah, I'm excited for next year.
That's gonna be awesome. All right, cool. Well, let's switch out with our teammates real quick, and let's get the next 2 up here to represent McNair Boys Basketball real fast. And I mean, you hear Coach Wagner, you hear this the confidence that our student athletes have, right? And I think is it bit off a championship? Sure. But even if it wasn't, I think there's a certain swagger that you have to have as a student athlete, especially when you're talking about McNair and Scobie, right? They both kind of run the middle school stuff when it comes to basketball and stuff like this. And so I think talking with these student athletes is really fun.
But I think it doesn't matter if you're McNair, Scobie, or McAuliffe or Resnick. I think the confidence comes from the work they put in.
And also the coaching,
I mean?
right?
The coaches and the work that they put in. So, there's an amount of support that goes into building them at a younger age, things like that we continue as we've talked for a long time about, and how we build those systems so that across the board we're very competitive and things like that. But the confidence is no different than a kid that plays band that plays an instrument and is really practice, has confidence. But it's the same thing for these kids. Now, when they come, what you hear from these guys is more like the amount of they did not like that bitter taste in their mouth from last year against that same type of team, and then being able to bring it together and really, really galvanize around that common cause and believe that they could win those games. Yep. That's a little bit of a difference in the championship type mentality.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, we got 2 more student athletes with us. Can we have a little introduction, man? Can we get your name and then also the position you play?
My name is Royal Strickland, and I play center.
All righty.
My name is Jonathan Gomez, and I play point guard.
All righty. Royal Jonathan, man. Talk to me about this camaraderie. You guys came in with good vibes. You guys are having, it seems like a fun time. Talk to me about the friendships that are created during this year, especially a championship year nonetheless.
Everyone on the team, we're all friends with each other, and half of the team, we all play outside AAU basketball together. So I feel like that was another reason why we won, because we had more experience together than just school basketball, but we also had experience of out of school basketball too. So I feel like that was good with everybody on the team, because communication is a big key.
Yep.
So we communicate a lot. We have a whole group chat. So
that's awesome. Nice. Yeah. And so looking at this team, man, this championship right here, we keep talking about that chip on the shoulder from last year, right? Looking at it, now that you're there, now that you won the championship, what kind of keeps you motivated, I guess, to want to run it back and push for the next generations?
I feel like high school is going to be more important next year, because all of McNair and Scobie are going to be together. So it pushes for all of us to work together harder next year. So
the Dragon's going to be scary, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
It's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
This year.
Freshmen going to be flying around.
It's going to be, the freshman squad's going to be crazy. Jonathan, looking at as a point guard, what did you learn from this team and kind of the play style that kind of helped you be a better point guard or get kind of ready for that next level?
I learned a lot. Say on the court or off the court, when I was on the bench, I would cheer for my team and like coach them on the side, tell them like what they're doing wrong and what they're doing right. But on the court, like I would just obviously I'm the point guard, so I'm the floor general. So I mainly look for my bigs, and I'm not trying to score first. I'm trying to get the assist first.
Sure.
Or just pass the ball, because I'm not a offensive player. I'm more of a defensive player.
Okay.
So my points mainly come from my steals or my assists. I really don't score off, like, when it's a 5-on-5, I really don't score. But if it's like a 3-on-5 or a 2-on-5, like, I either score or pass.
Yeah, I got you. And so, you mentioned something that I think is really important. You mentioned not only staying motivated in game, but also when it's time for you to take a rest on the bench, whether it's time for you to kind of be cheering on. We heard from another one of your teammates that was injured, stuff like that. How important is it to keep that motivation and keep that support system when you're not playing in the game and maybe you're
Or just stay engaged.
Yeah, just staying engaged, whether it's on the bench, whether it's because you're injured, or whether it's whatever the case, staying engaged throughout, even when you're not on the court touching the ball at all times. How important is that engagement to a championship season?
It's really important because you have to keep your teammates like accountable, and you have to give them confidence. And if they don't have those two things, then they might like start doing bad. But you have to keep them like in a positive attitude. So,
and I think it creates more turnovers, right? If you don't have that mindset, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. Jonathan, you kind of spoke on it a little bit, so I wanted to hear kind of what you thought about that, because it's like you said, you're a defensive-minded player. You're a pass-first point guard. Looking at that, whenever you do go on the bench and you see kind of how that flow might change throughout, or if you're injured or whatever the case, like we said, how do you stay engaged, or how do you encourage others to stay engaged in the game?
When I'm off, like when I'm on the bench, like I said, I will always look at either the point guards mainly, because that's my position.
Sure.
I would always look at them to see what mistakes they're doing, and when they come off the bench, like for a timeout or something, I would tell them what they're doing wrong and what they're doing right. So I feel like when I do that and they go back in the game, they do way better than what they did a minute ago or 2 minutes ago.
Right.
So I feel like communication is very big
Nice.
in the sport of basketball.
I like it. And so one of my final questions, and I'll give it to Wagner, is what can we expect from the Southwest Dragon squad moving forward?
You took my question.
Listen, I knew it was coming. What can we expect moving forward as you all get to collaborate with Scobie? We get to make this little dream team of sorts over here. What can we expect from the program to grow over the next 4 years when McNair and Scobie finally come over here to Southwest High School? What can we expect?
you can expect a lot of one games. Like, we're going to be working 4 years with each other, so we're going to have a lot of chemistry for those 4 years, and hopefully all be on varsity one day and play together.
That's what I'm talking about. Some district titles possibly.
There you go.
Southwest has, 5 out of the 8 district titles right now?
Yeah.
So they're rolling, Jonathan. What can we expect?
We can expect a lot when we go to high school, because when our 8th grade season, we went undefeated and won everything. So when we add more players from Scobie, decent players from Scobie, we, as a freshman team, we could all like work together and be way better than just 8th grade McNair team. We could be better as a Dragons team and maybe go undefeated for our freshman year too, and hopefully go undefeated all the way as a varsity player.
That's
or
awesome.
if you don't make varsity, at least try to push to make JV.
Yeah, love it.
Synergize.
That's right, man. I'm telling you, the energy from our McNair basketball squad, it's one that you could tell the job's not finished, right? You could tell you're hearing constantly future talk. Like, cool, we're here now. What's next for this team?
It's a building block.
It's a building block, yeah. So to end it, Coach, I'd love to get you in, if you don't mind, real quick, just for a quick few questions. and we'll let the students kind of move around a little bit. But looking at this team, Coach, for you, as the coach of this squad and of a championship squad, what did this season mean to you, and how did it help kind of you grow as a coach, if that makes sense?
Honestly, it meant the world to me. Just knowing the talent and the type of kids that we had last year, and just not getting that job done, having that chip on our shoulder, to finally put it together and to kind of mold and work with one another this year. You know, we went through some hoops and hurdles early in the season, you know, kind of that chemistry and just the camaraderie part of it. But once we got that rolling and, you know, we realized what we were capable of the whole season, it was just, you know, job's not finished.
Right.
We're going to do the whole thing. We're going to go the whole way this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was our expectation from the get-go, and we met it. But like these boys, I'm super excited for them at the high school. I can't wait to see them, especially once they get into their upper years, junior and senior years.
Sure.
It's going to be amazing. Southwest basketball is on the come up for sure.
Yeah, and, you know, looking at this squad, what's unique about basketball in middle school and high school, I think people forget, is you only have them for this small time, right? They move on. How do you build off of a season like this for the following generations? What's kind of your words of wisdom for, you know, the fifth grade coming into the sixth grade coming into seventh coming into eighth? What's going to be the talks that you're going to have with them coming up this next year?
Really, all that is just consistency. Even when we're not in season, just get in AAU ball, get in select ball, play over the summer, go out to your local park and play. Just more consistency, more time on the court just translates to better play once you're at the middle school level, and then eventually when they go to the high school level.
Yeah.
So it's just putting that time in, because every athlete, any sport has to put that time in to be successful.
That's what I'm talking about, Coach Wagner.
Reps matter.
Listen, I'm telling you, man, we appreciate y'all coming in, though, McNair Basketball. Thank y'all so much, man. Congratulations on all of the incredible season, the championships, and many more to come, I'm sure.
We're incredibly proud of you guys and can't wait to see you guys come up at the high school and keep going.
Yeah, so for McNair Basketball, my name is Brandon Medina. That's Peter Wagner. This has been the Scoreboard Podcast. And as always, we are
Southwest.
3, 2,